Let's talk about screening. How do you keep those pesky neighbors from looking in your backyard? Heyo, homeowners, DIY, and professional landscapers, and neighbors. Today we're going to be talking about screening and how you can best screen your property to keep unwanted eyes out of your living space. But before we do that, I want to offer you a gift. In the link below this video or in the QR code in the corner, you'll be able to scan that or click on the link and download my free step-by-step guide that will walk you through all the steps in your landscape process, whether designing, installing, maintaining, or just getting inspiration. So if you're experiencing trouble with your landscape, go ahead and download that, print it off, and use it. It's my free gift to you as a way of saying, thanks for caring about your yard and thanks for joining me today. Now, screening is going to mostly depend on the layout of your backyard and living space and the layout of your neighbor's yard and their living space. If you haven't already seen my living space video, then go check that out. That'll help you walk through how to design and lay out your living spaces, but it also runs through a couple of the different living spaces and living space types that you will be experiencing. As a professional landscaper, the screening that I most hear about is that people want to screen their pools to have some privacy while they're in their bathing suits, or they want to screen their neighbors' pools so that they don't have to see their neighbors in their bathing suits. It's generally one or the other. Another one is grilling or dining areas. And when it comes to screening, there are a few different options. You want to consider the tall and the mid-range options. Tall is anywhere from 4 feet up, and mid-range is 4 feet and below, down to 3 feet probably. So for tall, I would always recommend arborvitae if you can grow it in your area. The reason for this being that arborvitae is evergreen and it is tall and narrow, and when it grows, it doesn't eat up a whole bunch of space like blue spruce does. Spruce and pine trees are great screening for the first 5 years. And then they get way too big and eat your yard and eat your space. And 30 years down the road, everyone is driving past your house wondering why it's so haunted, and if you're gonna cast any spells on them for driving by too slowly. While my idea of a good screen might be arborvitae if you're going for an all-year screening fix, if you are only needing a summer screening fix, then you can consider larger hydrangeas that grow from 4 to 6 feet. Or if the screening is for further back in your yard, then consider a clump-form tree or bush like a lilac or a birch. But be warned, birches are messy. For further back in your yard, or if you want screening from a distance, then pine trees, spruces, oaks, maples, and the like are perfect. If you have a place that is further up in your vision that you want to be screened, then use something like a hardwood tree. But if it's lower down, remember that pine trees are basically triangles, so anything on the bottom is going to be covered, but things on the top are still going to leave space for people to peek through. So definitely consider the shape of the tree that you're planting when you are creating your screening. Let's talk about mid-range. Now, mid-range has a bunch of different options. A good most of the year coverage would be mating grasses or hicks yews. Hicks yews are evergreen and will last all year round, although they do tend to grow too large given too much time and not enough maintenance. Mating grasses you can let go throughout the winter, although you can't let them go throughout the entire winter. And they can tend to grow very large, although you can definitely subdivide them and replant them. So if you're looking to grow a screening hedge that's going to look really nice for 3/4 of the year, then mating grasses might be the way to go. They do require a little maintenance because you should cut them down midwinter or in the fall and let them grow back the next year. But for the most part, those are a great option. If you only need summer screening, then consider smaller hydrangeas like bobos, annabelles, little limes, little quickfire, and the like. But maybe most importantly, remember that whatever you plant is going to grow. You should consider a 15-year horizon, or in other words, what is this plant going to look like in 15 years, or even in 5 or 10 years if I plant it in this place at this time. Because what I see is oftentimes people plant their screening plants way too close to their amenities, and then their amenities are crowded out in 2 to 3 years because the plant grew too big. So thanks for joining me today. Again, if you need help with your lawn, landscape, or garden, then check out and download my free step-by-step guide. It will walk you through all the steps in designing, installing, maintaining, and getting inspired to do your landscaping. I want you to have that for free, so go ahead and check that out, download it, and print it off, and I will see you in the next video.